looking for the broccoli. High key, keep a horn on me, that could my seat. IP, ownership, the blueprint is by me. Mr. Get Off, I get off at my feet. Squabble up, squabble up, squabble up, squabble up.
The Lakers, they've lost 13 of their last 14 games to the Denver Nuggets, but they didn't have Luka Doncic for any of those. Luka dropped 32 points last night, his most in a Lakers uniform, and he didn't just score. He led the Lakers in points, rebounds, assists, steals, and three-point field goals. LA did not trail at any point during this game, and it had Luka thinking about the big picture here.
I think our goal is to win championship. That's our only goal. And I think we have the team for that. Obviously, the chemistry with me and the guys, is going to take a little time still. But, like you saw today, I think it's getting better and better.
So Luka might have a point. There have been some growing pains, Stephen A., but last night was what this team could be at their best. And LA is currently tied with the Knicks for the 5th shortest odds to win the title at ESPN Bet. Luka thinks his team can win a championship. Do you?
I don't, but I'm not definitive about it. After what I saw last night, I was shocked. Let me be the first to apologize to the Los Angeles Lakers. I did not see them being capable of that. I got news for y'all. The Lakers, an NBA best, 14 or 15 and 4 since January 15th. The Denver Nuggets came into the game on a winning streak, averaging 128 points, got held to 100, so they got to playing defense as well. I mean, it's only the second victory for the Lakers against the Nuggets in the last 15 outings. LeBron James looks absolutely sensational. I mean, he's 40 going on 30. It's unreal what I'm seeing. And I'm going to say this right here, right now. J.J. Redick is a candidate for Coach of the Year. He is just doing a hell of a job. And Big Perk enlightened me about how brilliant they are offensively compared to what they were last year. Defensively, not so much, but that wasn't the case last night. If that Los Angeles Lakers team shows up in the postseason, look the hell out. And I'm not going to be mad about having to be in Southern California.
Two big things. One, over the last 18 games, they are the #1 defensive team in the league. Now, it's hard to believe that because Anthony Davis has been gone for most of those. And that is not a relic of AD's team. They're doing it despite being very small in the interior because they're so big on the perimeter, because Dorian Finney-Smith and Jared Vanderbilt come in there and give J.J. Redick some options. Secondly, last night, they got Luka to be Luka again. What I mean by that is he wasn't just a ball mover who was trying to play turns with Austin Reeves and LeBron. He said, I'm going to be the dominating force. Everything ran through him last night. This is the way they've got to play. I thought this would be something that would happen later in the season. JJ got him to do it. Last night, he was completely different. His demeanor was different. I'm going to tell you something. Tuesday night, the Mavericks are going to be here. Luka's going to be here.
Luka's going to put on the show.
Mavericks just gave up 126 points. They're missing their 3 best interior defenders.
Luka's going to put on the show.
They're coming off that big win. Look out.
Mind the game and respect the game. That's exactly what J.J. Redick is doing right now. He's a top 10 coach in the NBA today. I saw a report after the game. He said as soon as they had their win on Thursday against the Portland Trailblazers, he didn't get hardly any sleep because he started preparing for the Denver Nuggets. And it showed when we watch. And I'm looking at this Laker team, and I'm listening to Luka comments, and they saying that we're here to win the championship. And they could actually go to the NBA Finals if you want to be real about it. Think about it. They're only 2.5 games back from the second seed. 2.5 games back from the second seed. Hold on. With Luka getting in shape, getting his legs up under him, with a LeBron James playing the way that he's playing, a happy LeBron James, it ain't far-fetched. And when you think about the game plan, and this is just, I know it's just been an appetizer, but again, we saw when the Knicks played the Lakers on set, and what J.J. Redick and that system did to Karl Anthony Towns, then we saw it last night. That was Jokic's worst game, in my opinion.
He only got 7 shots.
That was his.
He only got 7 shots.
That was his worst game that I've seen in the last 2 years.
Well, the bigger issue is you and what you point to about defense. the Lakers have been showing up and defending, which is not something we were accustomed to seeing from them this year. And now that's the case. And so I'm looking at them now, and I'm looking at the rest of the Western Conference. We got the youth in OKC, but are you ready? We've got health issues in Dallas. We don't know what the hell is going on in Phoenix. We still trying to figure that out, okay? Denver, we thought that, you know what, they were here elevating, and then they ran into something that they hadn't seen from the Los Angeles Lakers. The Western Conference right now is vulnerable, and when you see Luka with the ball in his hands, I'm looking at a 40-year-old LeBron James movement without the ball, knowing what to do, when to do it, how to do it. The brother's brilliant. The Lakers with Hachimura, Dorian Finney-Smith, Austin Reeves, all these brothers. The Lakers are getting very, very, very interesting.
Real quick, I just want to point out the game plan and what JJ designed last night defensively. He somewhat exposed the Denver Nuggets. If you go back and watch that film and how he guarded Jokic and how he baited those guys into taking threes, that worked into their favor last night. I'm telling you.
Yeah.
It's some, listen, I'm telling you, that damn JJ, I was wondering and questioning whether he was going to be able to fulfill that role of being the head coach, especially in this first year. Damn it, he's doing his thing.
The Lakers are 13-4 since January 15th, 18-4.
Number 2. Right, in order to get Cleveland to the promised land and possibly bring home a title, that has to be Evan Mobley, right? A guy that Kenny Atkinson has unlocked in a beautiful way offensively. Can Evan Mobley elevate his game in a 7-game series going from 18 points and 9 rebounds? Can he be that 20 or 25-point scorer and 12 or 15 boards? Because when you get into that matchup, especially if they happen to meet Boston in the Eastern Conference Finals, I don't know if him and Jared Allen are going to be able to share the floor together against that Celtic team. So Evan Mobley is going to probably have to play that 5, being able to switch the pick and roll, and they're going to have to match Boston system. But again, it comes down to this. Evan Mobley. Evan Mobley is going to be the X factor.
This is a special night tonight, and here's why. The Grizzlies have a clean injury report. This has been one of the most banged-up teams over the last 2 years you can possibly imagine. They get to come into this game with a clean injury report. It's not so much for the Cavs. Darius Garland and Jared Allen, 2 All-Stars, are questionable coming in. We'll see if they can get to how they get towards game time. There's a lot of respect between these two teams. You know, I'm going to do a Stephen A-style name drop here. Recently, Malika, I was talking to Mike Krzyzewski. Mike Krzyzewski is assisting the NBA with some consulting. And one of the things that they've talked to him about is whether they should make any rule changes, okay? And while he was having that conversation with the NBA's competition committee, Kobe Altman, the Cavs team president, was talking about how impressive the Memphis Grizzlies are on offense because they achieved this incredibly great high level of efficiency, and they run the 30th most pick and rolls. In the era where they say everybody plays the same way, the Grizzlies play completely differently. The Cavs, meanwhile, lead the league in pick and rolls. And so you have two teams that are number 1 and number 2 in offense who have completely different styles.
Let me say this a couple of things. Number 1, first of all, we always appreciate what we hear about Coach Mike Krzyzewski. If anybody should be advising people about basketball, it should be Coach K, no doubt about that. Good to hear his name. Number 2, when we look at Cleveland, okay, think about this. Leads the league in fourth quarter offensive efficiency. Got 11 different players averaging over 19 minutes a game. You got a bench that's averaging 17.5 3-point shots, and they're hitting at a 38% clip. So I'm talking about 11 deep, 3-point shooting, height, athleticism, depth, a surefire number 1 in Donovan Mitchell. A few dudes who could play, at least a couple of dudes who could be a number 2, meaning a Mobley or a Darius Garland, depending on what you're going up against. I love this team. I love what I'm seeing from this team. It's going to be real interesting to find out what they do. But the last point I'll make is this. Ja Morant, I know he elevates Memphis. The one thing I'm seeing from him a little bit too much, he really looks for calls all the time. More so than I've seen him in the past. Just play. I think an elevated level of greatness will come from him if he just did that.
Well, it has to, because getting to the Memphis Grizzlies, if you're trying to be a legit title contender, if you're trying to go match up with Denver, if you're trying to go toe-to-toe with Oklahoma City, Jaren Jackson Jr. can't be your best player in a 7-game series. Ja Morant needs to be that guy. And Ja Morant, honestly, hasn't been that guy all season long. One could argue that Austin Reeves, and I say this respectfully, Austin Reeves has had more of a productive season this year than Ja Morant. If you don't believe me, go look at the numbers.
The way they play sort of an egalitarian offense.
Wendy, no, man. Listen, look.
That's
So I'm looking at the
egalitarian
Mavs,
offense.
and I'm looking at the rest of the Western Conference. We got the youth in OKC, but are you ready? We've got health issues in Dallas. We don't know what the hell is going on in Phoenix. We still trying to figure that out, okay? Denver, we thought that, you know what, they were here elevating, and then they ran into something that they hadn't seen from the Los Angeles Lakers. The Western Conference right now is vulnerable, and when you see Luka with the ball in his hands, I'm looking at a 40-year-old LeBron James movement without the ball, knowing what to do, when to do it, how to do it. The brother's brilliant. The Lakers with Hachimura, Dorian Finney-Smith, Austin Reeves, all these brothers. The Lakers are getting very, very, very interesting.
Real quick,
very
I just want to point out the game plan and what JJ designed last night defensively. He somewhat exposed the Denver Nuggets. If you go back and watch that film and how he guarded Jokic and how he baited those guys into taking threes,
The Los Angeles Lakers have struggled mightily against the Denver Nuggets in recent years, losing 13 of their last 14 matchups. However, the narrative took a drastic turn last night, thanks to a performance that could signal a turning point for the franchise. Luka Doncic, donning the Lakers jersey, erupted for 32 points, his highest tally since joining the team, and led in every major statistical category: points, rebounds, assists, steals, and three-pointers made. But beyond the numbers, it was the impact of his presence that reverberated throughout the game. The Lakers never trailed, controlling the tempo from start to finish, and Doncic made it clear post-game that his sights are set on something far greater than a regular season victory. "Our goal is to win a championship. That's the only goal. I believe we have the team to do it," Doncic asserted. "Obviously, the chemistry between me and the guys is still building, but as you saw tonight, it's getting better and better." For the first time in a long time, that belief doesn't feel misplaced. The Lakers have endured growing pains integrating Doncic into their system, but last night showcased what this team can be at its peak. The odds makers seem to agree, as ESPN Bet currently lists the Lakers tied with the New York Knicks for the fifth shortest odds to win the championship. The question is, do they truly have what it takes to go all the way? Skepticism has surrounded this squad all season, but last night was a wake-up call. Even the most vocal critics, including Stephen A. Smith, had to reassess their stance. "I was shocked. Let me be the first to apologize to the Los Angeles Lakers. I did not see them being capable of this," Smith admitted. "I got news for y'all. Since January 15th, the Lakers have the best record in the NBA at 14-4. The Denver Nuggets came into this game averaging 128 points per contest on their winning streak, and the Lakers held them to just 100. That means they're playing defense now too. This was only the Lakers' second win against Denver in their last 15 meetings, but it wasn't just about breaking a losing streak, it was about sending a message. LeBron James, at 40 years old, continues to defy the laws of time, delivering a performance that looked more like vintage LeBron at 30. The impact of head coach J.J. Redick also cannot be overlooked. A first-year coach stepping into one of the most scrutinized roles in sports, Redick has quickly proved his mettle. Smith went as far as to label him a legitimate Coach of the Year candidate, and for good reason. "Big Perk enlightened me about how brilliant they are offensively compared to last year," Smith continued. Defensively? Not so much, but that wasn't the case last night. If that version of the Lakers shows up in the postseason, look the hell out. The defensive transformation has been staggering. Over the last 18 games, the Lakers rank number 1 in defensive efficiency, a feat that is even more remarkable given that Anthony Davis has been sidelined for much of that stretch. The shift isn't a byproduct of Davis's dominance but rather a testament to the perimeter length and versatility provided by players like Dorian Finney-Smith and Jared Vanderbilt, both of whom give Redick defensive flexibility that simply wasn't there before. Then there's Doncic himself. Last night, he wasn't merely a facilitator looking to play off LeBron and Austin Reeves. He was the focal point, the dominant force through which everything flowed. That's the formula the Lakers must embrace. Many expected this to be a gradual evolution over the season, but Redick made the shift happen immediately. Doncic's demeanor was different, his approach was different, and the results followed. The next test looms on Tuesday when the Dallas Mavericks come to town, fresh off surrendering 126 points and still missing key interior defenders. The stage is set for another statement performance. Redick's attention to detail and tactical adjustments have been crucial. After Thursday's win against the Portland Trail Blazers, he reportedly got little sleep, diving straight into game planning for the Nuggets. That preparation was evident. The Lakers didn't just beat Denver, they exploited their weaknesses. Nikola Jokic had one of his least impactful performances in 2 years, taking only 7 shots. The defensive scheme baited Denver into taking low-percentage threes, disrupting their rhythm entirely. If this was just an appetizer, the main course in the postseason could be something to behold. From a standings perspective, the Lakers are suddenly in striking distance of the second seed in the Western Conference, sitting just 2.5 games back. If Doncic continues to round into peak form, if LeBron remains engaged and dominant, and if Redick continues pressing the right buttons, the idea of an NBA Finals run is not as far-fetched as it once seemed. Context matters. The Western Conference landscape is riddled with uncertainty. The Oklahoma City Thunder have the talent but lack postseason experience. The Dallas Mavericks have health concerns. The Phoenix Suns remain an enigma. Even Denver, once presumed to be the clear favorite, has now been exposed in ways that raise questions about their repeat bid. Meanwhile, the Lakers are getting deeper and more dangerous. Rui Hachimura, Finney-Smith, Reeves, all have stepped up in crucial moments, giving the Lakers a level of versatility that makes them a nightmare matchup. And then there's the game plan. Redick's approach against the Nuggets was masterful, not only neutralizing Jokic but also dictating the terms of engagement. If this is what he's capable of in his first year, the league should take notice. It's no longer just about making the playoffs. It's about making a run. The Lakers have turned a corner, and if they can maintain this trajectory, the championship talk might not just be bravado, it could become reality.